Hello and welcome back to some Dwarf Fortress. We are on episode 9 and we are continuing our Fortress of the Fated Sword. So we'll get moving along. In between episodes, I did just queue up a couple things like doors around the fortress, and I also kind of designated some labors. I'll kind of point some of the stuff out when we get into here. One thing I also did is I set up another squad, and this is just some random dwarves that once every 5 months they're going to do a little bit of training. Dwarves get that mood boost when they do, so that'll be really helpful. I know at the end of last episode we left off and we had a dwarf that unfortunately had killed one of our other dwarf, or had been killed because they had gone berserk due to a strange mood. Unfortunately, we didn't have the necessary materials for him, so he went berserk and we were able to put him down before anyone else really got hurt. However, we do have some people that are seriously injured that we need to make sure we set up a hospital. That was one of the big things. Normally, it's kind of later on for me to set up a hospital, but we kind of ended up getting to a fight pretty. Well, I say fight, but we ended up having some injured dwarves early on. Normally, it's kind of after the first battle, maybe after the second one is when I'd set up the hospital, but I wasn't expecting such an early attack. Well, I say attack, such an early fight. So normally with how I set up the hospital, I kind of want to give myself space because I'll build a bed and then I also build a traction bed and then a table also. So in between here, I'll have a table, bed, traction bed. So this is where I'll have that. It's because the table is where they do surgeries, and on the traction bed is where they heal kind of like broken limbs and stuff like that. So if stuff needs to be sutured, I got a table. If stuff needs to be kind of corrected as far as like broken, I'll have that traction bench. And one of the things for the traction bench that we need is rope. But for that, we'll need mechanics workshop. This is where you find your traction bench. And for some rope, well, let's see. Hopefully, we can get some string over here. Let's see if there's any plants we can process. Nope, none currently. But hopefully, once we get some right here, some pigtails planted and grown, we can use that to be making our kind of our clothes kind of processing. So what we'll do is as soon as that first harvest is done, we'll queue it up to reprocess. That way they can get the seeds back and we can immediately get that stuff planted again. Sorry, I'm kind of jumping around. We can get working on that. I did see a comment on this last episode. I was trying to figure out what exactly the question was, is how are armored miners? I'm not sure if it's asking me how to get armor on my dwarves themselves or how armored are my miners. But if you want to see what your miner or your person is wearing, you just come find your individual. If you come over here to the items tab, you can see this is what this miner is currently wearing. Just some trousers, a spider silk dress, some gloves. It looks like some cougar leather gloves, some a sock shoe, and then he's got his pickaxe in his hand. Now, if you're asking about how to equip my military dwarves, you come over here and I want to work on this top one, and I come down here to equipment. So currently, they're actually going out and they're gonna grab some of the equipment. But if you have stuff and they're not grabbing it, you can actually come over here and hit update equipment, and it should make them go out and grab it. You can see when it's yellow is they need to go grab that material, But if it's green, that means they're currently wearing it. So I can come down here to this person. It says they need to go grab that helmet. So currently they're hauling the iron helm. But they got the breastplate on, they got their shield on, they got their battle axe on. Like in the equipment, there's your shield, breastplate, battle axe. And I might change this person's battle axe down the line because, don't get me wrong, a copper battle axe is not terrible. It's a weapon, but this is my militia commander. I want them to have a stellar weapon. So we'll probably queue up a steel axe here in a bit. One of the things I also want to do is come down here, and you can see I've kind of designated more stuff to be mined out over here for some more bedrooms. I put more doors to be installed if we kind of ran out of doors, but like I said, I didn't play in between episodes. I just queued up a bunch of stuff just so that y'all would be able to see everything that's going on. And queued up a couple more spaces over here. This I've got as a new custom stockpile where I'm going to have weapons, armor, and ammo. And I've got a couple more areas over here to dig out for more just training areas. I've got some barracks queued up for all the 3 other dwarven military squads, I would say, because this is where that first one's training, and I'll probably move this eventually, but for now, just in case, I want to have them kind of close to everything else. And one of the other things I'm going to do is, as you can see, this is where I'm going to have my outside farms because there's certain plants out here that I can actually farm, but up until I can set up the farm plots now. However, I want to get it so that there's a little staircase down here and it goes down to this level so that, and then I'll put a top on top of this because you don't have to have it exposed to the sunlight for you to be able to set up those farm plants and farm. That way it's completely enclosed. Most of the time walls work and having a door normally works, but if you get trolls attacking, they'll actually break down doors. And if I get a flying creature, say, I don't know, a rock, that's ROC, it's like a giant massive bird or like a dragon, they come and attack, then they can fly right over my wall. So I'd rather have this stuff enclosed and then I can funnel them down into my areas where I'd want them to be. But for now, this should work out. Let's go down to here. I've got another smelter queued up. I've got a couple of steel greaves queued up. Those are like the pants, kind of part of a dwarves military kit. There's a couple things. So leggings and greaves are pretty much the same thing. Greaves give better armor rating, so that's why I'm building those. You get the helm and the cap. The helm is a little bit better. The buckler, the shield is bigger, better. Then you've got like the mail shirt and the breastplate. Breastplate is better overall. And so I've got a couple of greaves set up. One of the things I did want to do is we've only got one metalsmith forge right now, so there's only one that can be working. But I do want to make another anvil so I can create another one of these. Because when we first created the forge, it used up an anvil. But we don't have any more, so we'll just add another. So under other objects, I'll have an iron and I'll do iron anvil. And I'll get that queued up so they can make me another metalsmith's forge. And I'll move this stuff down here so I have all these bars right next to that. And I'll have maybe move this smelter down here, maybe another wood furnace, or I might just have 3 smelters. We'll decide on that later. And for now, we've got to worry about getting this guy entombed. Luckily, they're moving that coffin down there, it looks like. So we got the coffin, and they should hopefully be taking that body and dragging it down there. And we'll also, I almost forgot. Let's go back up to here. We'll set up a zone for a let's see, meeting area. I know the hospital is not actually a meeting area, but there's no hospital option here. It's just under meeting area. We'll select and we'll put it right here, accept, and then right here we'll assign a new location, and that is where we'll do new hospital. So this will be called the Granite Home. If anyone has any name suggestions, we can always kind of change the names of some of these things, but that is the hospital that's set up. And as soon as they get this bed installed, they should go and grab that person that is kind of down underground and injured and bring them up here. Let's get that set up. Get a couple more tables. I got get a couple tables set up right next to it. And then I also need a chest so I can store some of my medical stuff. So it looks like she's been brought up here. And as soon as we can get a bed in here, they should hopefully get that all set up. Well, put her on the bed and at least start healing her. One of the things I almost forgot to do is under the labors, we have orderlies, and we just got to make sure we get these guys set up to do that. So orderlies will do, you can actually key over here, they'll do any of this health care stuff. So they'll do suturing, wound dressing, feeding patients, recovering. They're just kind of like the people that do some of the more basic things. I do need a diagnosis because my dwarf will not get healed until we diagnose them. So over here, let's add a new work detail. And I'll just call it doctor. And that should be generic enough. And I want you to diagnose, surgery, and set bones. The three things the orderly doesn't do. And you don't have to have them be like separate. You can actually go in here under the orderlies and you can add all three of the ones I had. But for now, this should be good. You know what? You can also be one my woodcutter. I'm assuming you knew. Yes, woodcutter. New person or queued them up. So luckily, we got some more migrants. We got quite a few, it looks like. Beekeeper, woodcutter, surgeon. Oh, that's going to be very good. Laborers, you know what? You're going to be both an orderly and a doctor. I don't care. That's just what you're going to do. Fish dissector, peasant. One of the other things we need to make sure we do is set up the mayor with all the things they in their rooms that they need. So you can see they need 2 chests, a cabinet, armor or weapon rack, and an armor stand. So we'll get that. And over here, chief medical dwarf. Well, looks like a carpenter person is going to be my chief medical dwarf. They really don't do anything other than allow us to get a certain tab. Let me see if I can find it. There should be, whoops. Oh, we'll find it around here. Whoops. There's going to be, when they start doing their job, there's going to be another tab that opens up that lets us do medical things. As soon as kitchen, stone use, places, tests, we'll figure that out here in a little bit. So some of my dwarves are now becoming recruits to kind of just practice and do what they need to do. Hopefully some of these guys will bring over a bed over here. I do need to cancel that one because I don't need a bed quite right there. Peasant, this is a new arrival. And I do need to change this from a meeting place to a dormitory. That's what I was looking for. And then I'll make it a hospital. And over here, you can actually look. I clicked the hospital. The hospital is desiring 5 thread, 5 cloth, 5 splints, 5 crutches, powder for casts, a couple buckets, and some soap. And we can actually click this and, hey, we want actually a little bit more of that, or we don't want as much of that stuff. But for now, this should be good. I will put my chief medical dwarf as a doctor in here, and they should come over and start helping out doing that. Ooh, he is stinking up, so that is not good. We need to get some dwarves to get rid of his body. Let's see. Scroll down here. We should be. Well, we're no longer mining deeper, but hopefully they can get these bridges set up. We got quite a few tasks, so we'll just let it kind of play out. Got some dwarves that are going outside to kind of build these walls, and they're puking because they got they're cave adaptive, which as long as we can keep our dwarves inside, and once we get this closed off and maybe put a roof over here, we should be fairly set as far as outside stuff. We might do a couple more things here and there, but for now, this will be pretty much the end of that. We do have to get a roof on top of this, so they do have to do a lot more stuff out here in the wilderness. Well, the outside. But luckily, you can see they've already kind of cleaned up that puke. Let's check on our dwarf over here. Okay, good. We've got that moving along. Let's see. Standing order, workshops, locations, stockpiles, farms, nothing here yet. Chief medical dwarf. You gotta start up doing your job, bud. Wait, weren't you the one that was just hurt? Oh yeah. What in the world? Clean self. Not sure what happened. No treatment scheduled. Petition. Oh, so it looks like we have enough dwarves in here for a farmer's guild. So there's enough farmers or dwarves that have the farming skill to want to create a guild hall. So we can actually approve this request. All we need is just a generic guild hall, so that should be fairly easy. And it should be a farmer's guild. So over here on probably this level, I could also, I'll definitely do it on this level because this is kind of where our farmers are. And I'll queue it up right down here, kind of nice little big area for them. Queue up that, and that to be dug out. And they should get on to digging out myself a new guild hall for these. All those dwarves that were doing a little training are back to doing what they need to do. Hopefully they're down here and clearing this out. Queued up a couple things. I'm gonna actually in here. One of the things I want to do is over here, pets. So I've got my war dog. One of the other things we did see is dogs can be trained as a hunter dog. Good, I got a couple male dogs, so I'll queue this one up as a hunting dog, and I'll actually queue 2 of them up, and then I'll do one more war dog. It's good for dogs just to be training them. Usually I do war, and I'll queue up these 2 female dogs as war dogs, just in case, like, hey, if we ever get into a fight, they're not going to be around anyone that. The reason I don't want to do this, if I make them war dogs, then they're going to actually follow around the dwarf that trained them. unless I designate them to a certain pen or pasture, they will follow that dwarf around, which isn't the end of the world, but I'd rather have them just chill in the meeting area and get me a couple more dogs, because right now I've got 3 more male dogs, and I really don't have. There's at least another female dog right there, and a couple more. So that's not the end of the world. I want them to grow up first, and then I'll worry about that. But I will set up in here. I'm going to create a zone, pen and pasture. Oops. Let's repaint this. Be right just like that. And I'm going to actually put a hunting dog in here. And around these outside, I am building fortifications. So if you come down here to constructions, fortifications, so they're basically walls with holes in them, normally for people to shoot out, but they also allow line of sight. So what I want to do is I'm going to put a hunting dog in here. I'm going to close it off so that they're completely safe. I'm going to put a roof on top too. And dogs, they don't need to eat anything. Animals in here are unique like that. There's only the ones that graze that need to actually be out on grass, or else they'll starve to death. But dogs, you don't have to worry about. Cats, you don't have to worry about. Any kind of bird, you don't. So I'm gonna have the hunting dog here because there will be enemies that attack from the mines or from the caverns. And if I can see them early enough, because I might dig out a bunch of this stuff, I'll be able to close this up immediately, and we shouldn't have any enemies in our fortress. So if I do that, I'll have one over here, and I'll probably create a wall right here. And maybe honestly, let's cancel these. Have it so that they have to come up to here so our dog can see all the way across. So I'll actually set up a couple of traps around there. Just like that, because I am going to close this off. And that should allow us to be able to at least see everything that possibly is going to come to this door. Because some enemies, well, are downright sneaky. So we'll get that queued up. I'll put another trap there just in case they come in from here. Hopefully I can catch them before they get to here. But we'll actually set up those walls to be built right now. And I'll just continue out of the shale blocks. Oops. BG. Is it BG? BNL. So just getting that queued up. We have a lot of tasks for our dwarves to do, and that should be good. We'll kind of let it continue to play out. They'll hopefully start working on getting the hospital properly set up. We got beds. We got that first cloth in there. Looks like, ooh, the sect of waving. Worshippers in Fated Swords now require a temple and priest. So, the priest for the sect of waving. So, we can do that. Should be fairly easy because we did already dig out a bunch of these other ones. So, we'll do meeting hall. Dig this out. Create one. It should be a new temple. Ooh. Believe they didn't tell us what exact worshiper group there is, but right down here, there we go, the sect of waving. So we'll allow that to happen. That should hopefully fulfill their request. I believe there's a way to see where their requests are, but I'm kind of forgetting on that. One thing I haven't gone over, professional changes, sparring. So this is just kind of all the things that kind of popped up over time that, hey, the little notifications. One thing I didn't go over is now that we've got the broker properly established, or not broker, but the bookkeeper properly established. Under here, stocks. So I can see every single item in my fortress. So I can come over here, look at my armor. I can see I've got a couple iron breastplates, a couple steel breastplates, large copper mail shirt. That's probably on one of the humans. You can just scroll down, see everything. I can see all the barrels. I got plenty of barrels that don't have alcohol in there. Got plenty of bars. This is usually something I check out. I can scroll down and be like, hey, I've only got one steel bar. I can't really be making any more steel items right now until we get more. So I'll just wait for that to build up and then we'll get on to that. Cheese. We got cloth, which is great. The more cloth, the better. There's my cave spider silk cloth, finally. But that's unfortunate that it took so long. Our animals become a hunting animal because we have this designated as our animal training area. They're going to come out here and do the trainings out here, which I probably want to move inside. An animal has become a small stray drake. That's a male duck. Looks like a couple more animals have been trained properly. They got their first harvest of plants, so I want to process those immediately. And they should come down here and they should process these pigtails. And let's see if I can queue up over here too. And you can see, hey, pigtails. I want to do that so I can get more seeds so they can go back up there and plant those. And I can actually use this to create thread and for cloth. So this is the thread. Got some seeds out of that, which is really good. The thread we need over here in our hospital. And I left it like this so that we can eventually make it bigger over here. It's pretty close to my water source. And every single time you load in, you can see that the numbers have gone away. I'll just kind of click this. It's still 5 and 6. That's really good. So that's kind of where I want it. Struck some tiger iron. Let's see where they're at. They're over here digging. Kind of slowly but surely. We might have to get a couple new dwarves to be doing that. And see, we got a fish dissector. We ain't doing much fishing, but this person has a lot of, looks like farming kind of skills. So you know what? We also need a butcher mate tanner. I've kind of queued up a couple more just laborers, just tasks so I can have them do that. So you can be a planter, a gatherer. You can also be a brewer. So that person will go off and start doing that. Ooh, a weaponsmith. That's really good to have. So you can be a weaponsmith. I want to see what their skills. Dresser, praiser, animal dissector. Nothing really else that kind of pops into my head. So I'll have that. And you can also be a smelter too. Kind of all in one down there. Let's see what else we got over here. A fisher dwarf. Kind of skills, just fisher dwarf, leather work. So I believe I do need a leather worker. I don't think I have one queued up. Let's look over here. I totally forgot which one this was. Ah, leather worker. That's actually what that was. So this person is who makes items out of leather, and that'll be important because our dwarves over here in our military, you can see they also will need a backpack. That's what this is, and water skin or a flask for their water. So for now, I can't. They're kind of lacking on that stuff, but as soon as we hopefully start butchering things, now that we're starting to get a lot more items. Let's see. I want to go over check. Okay, ravens, pond grabbers. So these guys will just kind of wander around the map, and hopefully none of our dwarves go near the water because they will actually grab and try to drown your dwarf. But we should be fairly good because we have they have no reason to go near the water. We got tasks to come dig down here, but our mining dwarves are on top. Let's see what else do we have. We have another woodworker, another woodcutter, mason. Ooh, let's see what mason, furnace operator. So this person's kind of, wow, very adept into many different kind of how would you? They're like an engineer is what I would describe them. Works with rock, furnace operator, engineer, mechanic, pump operator, optics engineer. Wow. Let's see. The ones I do have, you can also be a mechanic, mason. I don't have any of those other ones selected, so they should be good for now though, because we don't have to worry about the other stuff currently. We'll get back to this woodcutter and this carpenter. Just seeing what other ones we have. Beekeeper is an orderly. See what other kind of skills they have. High Master Beekeeping. Well, let's see. Did I have any kind of beekeeper on here? No, I do not. Let's just create one. Just maybe out in the off chance we do have bees. But normally someone would have installed a hive in that, or a colony in that hive by now, but this is just we're just gonna check that. We're gonna see what they do. We got a couple peasants, so these are nice. These are completely untouched. One thing I will do is you can join both of these peasants. So you can join that military group and you can join that military group. I like to do that with peasants. And then I will also queue these guys up to be doing some other tasks. I could use another miner, which means, well, we do have that pickaxe because of our dead miner. So we'll let him do that on his time off. And then our other peasant, when you're not training to be a better warrior, I want you to be a stone cutter and a carver. Engraver, sorry. Struck that. Dog gave birth to puppies. Got a couple recruits. I guess it's time for them to do training. I want to see what kind of equipment this person has, because they're actually pretty well equipped. Peachwood training axe. Okay, I see what you're doing. But let this pan out. Hopefully we can get this smelter set up, and then I can move this metal forge down here. It looks like they've actually built that anvil, so there we go. We can anvil that up. Get shale block. That's really good. I gotta get my wood cutting dwarf out here to do some wood cutting. So I'll actually queue up because I did see, you know what? Y'all can be woodcutters. I'm fine with that. Whoever wants to come grab a axe and do that. And we might just honestly be out of axes, so we might have to queue up another one to be made at the metalsmith. And hopefully this person's kind of made some more steel. Let's see. Got a couple steel bar up there, so that's good. Hopefully we can make weapons, steel, and make a steel battle axe. And now we just let them play it out. We need to keep an eye down here when we get this bridge built. But we have a lot of tasks that need to be done. A lot of stuff to be crafted, bridges, cage traps, a lot of seeds to be planted. Just a handful of things, just all about. And usually this is kind of what it gets like once you start and get everything all kind of situated. You'll be able to kind of be a little more hands off. Currently, oh, looks like processed plants, but what I can do is I can set it up so that when we have non-rotten material or material we can use for that, should queue up some processed plants. But the believe the person who creates those or does this only does it like once a month, or not once a month, sorry, once a day. So like processed plants, got my conditions, amount of unrotten processable plants is greater than 1. So as soon as we get 2, I want them to start processing plants. Change the frequency, monthly, seasonally, yearly, daily, and restart if completed. That is one of the things I want them to constantly do. So that should be good right there. I can also add another check. And for this, whoops, did not mean to queue out of that. I'm actually delete that. I don't really need that on there. But we should have them checking, and if there's more than 2, they're going to set up a queue for process plants. This could flood your left side with a lot of canceled orders because we actually don't have that stuff because I have 10 of them to be set up, which, you know what, I'm going to drop this down to 4. So every single check daily, if we've got 2, we'll set up 4 tasks for it. That should hopefully keep that moving along. See, yep, hey, cancels plant seed. Okay, so we don't have any plum elements, but our guys are working hard over here, bring more drinks. We got plenty more dwarven wine. Our kitchens are looking lackluster. You know what, let's queue up a couple more prepared meals. Have at least 10 of those going. Hopefully our dwarves are grabbing that and eating that instead of not. Worried after a lack of decent meals for too long. Well, we may need to change those from, sorry, I'm just reading these left things. May need to change it so that instead of easy meals, we're making fine meals. But fine meals, when we craft fine meals and use that stuff, it doesn't actually give us the seeds back. So under kitchen, I don't want them to cook with any of the seeds, but they're cooking currently with the plum pellets because we are getting the seeds back. I don't want them to cook with this stuff because I do want them to brew the drinks out of that. We got plenty of dwarven wine, which is really good. You can cook with all this. Plenty of guinea hen eggs. I want to check on my guinea hens. Why am I blanking? There we go. It's been claimed, been claimed, been claimed, unclaimed, unclaimed. So they're slowly but surely laying eggs in here, which is good. Dwarves are sparring. So it's just kind of time to let the actual simulation run. That's what Dwarf Fortress is. It's a management simulation. We'll let that go. We got a petition for, yeah, sure, you can eradicate monsters here. I'm fine with that. Hopefully our dwarves will come over here and mine that. Did believe, I think I had this created because we do want to eventually get a tavern in. But currently we got many other things we got to worry about. One including getting this person some furniture. So got a cabinet right here. We'll set up. Here you go. And if we actually click, I want you to get a nice cabinet. We got a claystone. That's actually probably our best qualities currently. Yep. This claystone cabinet. BFH for those hotkeys. Right over here. Limestone coffer looks pretty good. Claystone. I'm just going to kind of go through here and just kind of look to see which one has the best quality. So I've got, not shell, claystone. I got claystone coffer there. This will be their eating, their kind of dining room, and this will be their study. So I need a table over here. Looks like, is that, that's just a wall. So I'll have the table. Let's see what tables we got. We got just normal. What? I don't know why I keep misclicking when I'm doing that. Get some shale throne. That's the best one we got there. We'll let them continue on smoothing stuff out. Get them queued up so that we got a dining hall set up over here. Oh, overlap. Let's get rid of that overlap because they're very finicky about that. And I want this for the mayor. So as you can see, as we do that, some of these things, hey, we got a modest dining room. We've got a decent, or they need a decent dining room. They have a modest dining room. They need a decent quarters, but they got a modest quarters currently. And the same with the study. But once we smooth all this out, install a couple more things in there, they should be a little bit more happy. Good, we got some more kittens coming along. It looks like we are starting to get quite a few cats. So one of the things I will make sure to do is don't want too many cats. So this one doesn't have an owner. We got 2 females down here. So what I will do is we need to keep our cat population down because there's some such thing in this game as called cat explosions, and if we don't, then cats will just lag your game out. You'll have so many cats, and it's just not good. So it's better to kind of get onto that early. Cool. Well, we talked about getting him a steel battle axe, but it looks like he's already given a name to one of his battle axes. We can actually come over here, objects, named objects. So he's now claimed that as a family heirloom, which that's fine. That'll be. I'd much rather have him do that with a steel battle axe, but it's okay. Oh, this human has a named bow. Good. It is currently now autumn. We should be expecting our first caravan, and we want to make sure that we are prepared for this one. When they come in, get the things we need, get it so that we don't have to worry about any more strange moods, because I do not want any more deaths. I've had too many strange moods too quickly. And hopefully we do get more, but once we get everyone everything that we need. But this is nice, and let us continue to prepare for that. So autumn has come. Good, we got plenty of rock crafts. So that is really good to hear. They're working on getting these shale blocks out of here. Got some wine, some seeds, finished goods. That's fine right there. That's where they keep their rock crafts. So you got all these like scepters, crowns, amulets. So this is plenty of stuff to sell. Like some cave trousers from probably our dead dwarf, unfortunately. Do need to get that stuff cut. I don't know what is going on with them. Drink. Let's see. You don't have an axe. 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 So that is where we're lacking. We're lacking on some axes. But we can remedy that by hopefully get this up and running. So the smelter's been taking way too long to get that going. But we do have quite a few tasks to do. Our dwarves we're working diligently, and we might take off get these guys so they're not training 24/7. Oh, one thing I almost forgot is with that new batch of dwarves, we do need to make sure we get more bedrooms set up. This will hopefully be all right for now, but yes, gotta stay on top of that. I'm just gonna click through here. Boom. These misclicks. Bedroom. Continue to do this, but we will hopefully hear soon in this episode with if we kind of want to be able to get that stuff in the mines set up, the caverns, and we do need to set up that last guild hall. So if we can, hopefully we can get that set up real quick before the end of the episode, but currently we cannot. We have not. Let us double check some of this stuff. Written, named objects. We got plenty of stuff over here. Work orders are going good. Standing orders, hauling, refusing. So these are, I can announce some job cancellations, all job cancellations, no job cancellations. That's like that farmers workshop. So whenever they cancel, hey, we don't have enough of those pigtails. Usually you get that queue up, but I can make it so I don't do that at all. Everyone harvests, I can get it so that only farmers harvest, which I kind of actually want to do that. That way, only my farmers are doing that, so that they stay on task and other people stay on task doing other things. Mix similar food on. This preferred zones for drinking. Prefer zones for, let's see, fish only in designated zones. That's what I like. Chores. Children's will do chores, so children's will do all this stuff. I can actually queue certain children up not to do certain ones, but I want them to do all that. Let's see, surges and forbidding. So I want to be able to claim my dead. So this is forbid my dead during sieges. So if we're getting siege, we get killed. I don't want those bodies to be claimed, so our dwarves don't go run and grab that stuff. I want just during sieges, not to for our dwarves not to go grab stuff. Forbid other non-hunted dead. No. Only during sieges. There we go. Forbid other death items during sieges. Just want to make sure that our dwarves aren't doing certain things during when sieges pop up. Let's see. Working. This is all set here. So we can actually automate. So instead of us weaving cloth, as soon as we get thread, I can get it so that they only weave it when I want them to, which it might be a good thing later on, but for now I want them to do that. Use any cloth, use only dyed cloth. Well, right now, only any cloth because I don't have any dyes production set up, which perfectly fine to me. Automatically collect webs, that's good. Slaughter any marked animals. So that's fine. Automatically butcher carcasses, yep. Automatically clean fish. Automate kitchen, that's fine. Automate tannery. So that should be all good. So stone use, you can see over here, calcite, cassiterite, there's magma safe, and actually alabaster, that's make plaster powder. So that's good. That is stuff that we use to make casts. So that's a good thing to have. We have to make a kiln to be able to set that up. But you can see which stone is magma safe and which aren't over here, which is really helpful later on once you're building stuff around lava, knowing which ones you want to build it out and which ones you don't. So if something happens, where is it? That shale, all those shale blocks I have, I don't want to use that when I hit the magma level. Locations. See over here, I got designate new locations. Oh, okay. So we currently have this one as no. Let's see right here, locations. It looks like we got the Shrine of Washing. Let's take a look at here. Agreed to build temple. Currently it's at the shrine. The next level is at 2000, and that should be the temple. So we do need to smooth some stone out over here. And maybe set up a pedestal for us to be able to get that proper thing. Let's see. We don't have a, not pedestal, an altar. Sorry about that. Come down here, stoneworkers. We'll get a rock altar going. Hopefully our dwarves get onto that, but we've got quite a few more things. Good, the dead bodies in there out of everyone's sight. And we got plenty of stuff over here. I'll queue that up to be added to our different bedrooms later on. Our dwarves are working hard over here, smoothing out this stuff. That will add some value to these rooms and hopefully make them a little bit more worthy. I say worthy. So it'll change. Now it's a dining room instead of a modest dining room, so that's good. Next level up should be the decent dining room, and once they're done smoothing, that should be good. And we just need the study. Right. I will figure out which one allows me to see all the, the medical dwarves stuff. Because normally there's a tab to be able to allow you to see all that stuff, but I'll figure that out here in between episodes. Hopefully this was informative, that y'all got something out of it. Thank you for joining me, and I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your day, and adios.